I do not want to hear it. I'm sorry if y'all don't want another scary story. But it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But what's good, YouTube? And it's your boy, Jake Willie Silly, man. A.K.A. Mr. Take It Easy. But you end up like easy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch in the description down below. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. You know what I mean? Honestly, like I said, y'all, man, follow my new subscribers because I do get new subscribers every day. You know what I mean? Every day. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead and ban Con. You know what I mean? Go and ban Con. Con 40. I tried to give you a chance, man. I try to be very lenient with you, bro. You gotta go, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go, Con. You know, it's like, do y'all be seeing? I be trying to be lenient sometimes, bro. Sometimes I be trying to be lenient. I be trying to be like, all right. But you just keep on. And then guess what you're going to do? You're going to go to my Instagram. And look, y'all, I don't have Instagram. I ain't going to lie. Sometimes, bro, you know, I download it, bro, just to see what's going on, just to see how my followers and the DMs and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, don't hit me up on Instagram talking about unban you. I try to give you chances, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you keep on going. Like, I just not going to ban you. It's like you should know the history by now. How many people I done banned, y'all? Like over 200 folks. You know what I mean? I don't get it, bro. I just don't understand. But hey, what you want? If you want my attention, I'll give you my attention, bro. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Watch, he gonna create a new account, and guess what I'm gonna do with that new account? Ban that new account again. I ain't gotta do it. I got mods to handle that for me. I just say ban, he's banned. Simple as that. You know what I mean? But nah, though, man, for all my new subscribers, for all my new followers, man. Make sure y'all go to the playlist section, you know what I'm saying? Scary Reactions got over 100. If you eating some Jamaican jerk or something, some pizza or something, some hot dogs or something, whatever you eating or something, you know what I mean? Go to my playlist and watch the Scary Reactions or something. You know what I mean? I promise you, bro, you know, all bangers. I don't feel like I ever did a bad video. I ain't gonna cap. Thumbnail time. I don't feel like Jay missed. Jay does not miss.
I went to a somewhat typical high school.
And that's the thing, look, that's the thing. I don't even warn people. That's the thing, Blecka. You know what I mean? I don't even warn people. You know what I mean? But I was feeling good. I was like, okay, I usually bring pain. I usually bring it. You know what I mean? Because when I bring it hard. You know what I mean? I usually bring it. So I was like, you know what? I see bro on my stream every day. You know what I mean? I'll be lenient with him. It's just, Jay, you only get so many strikes with Jay. I timed him out 2 times. Third strike, you out. And you don't even get the 3 strikes, man. Most of the time, you first strike.
In a traditional American suburb, but a more rural set high school. Some kids go to schools with graduating classes of like 500 to hell, even 1,000 kids. My high school had, I think, a little less than 200 kids in my graduating class.
I ain't never had a school like that.
It was the kind of high school where even if you weren't friends with someone, you still knew them by face and name. Walking down the hallways, you'd know basically 99% of your peers, at least in your own graduating class. Coming from a quiet town, there weren't a lot of crazy news stories, really. It was pretty uneventful there. What we did for fun after school was actually go out and play sports and ride our bikes around and stuff like that. This was like 17 years ago though, so I guess things may be a lot different these days for kids.
It definitely is. I don't see kids playing no more. These kids these days, bro, grow up off TikTok. I'm gonna make sure my kids is nothing like these kids. One thing I feel like all parents need to do, I'm gonna put my kid in boxing. I'm putting my kid in martial arts. My kid gonna do something, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. My kid is not having a phone till he's in 10th grade. Simple as that. He gonna know how it is to grow up without a phone. Like I'm telling you, bro, around my neighborhood, I don't see no kids playing around. I'm talking about back then, bro. When I mean every day, bro. Every day we was out doing something, bro. Every day you had my boy Scooter right there. You had Lil Man and Big Man right there. You had these other folks. I don't know their name, bro, but I don't know their name, bro. I ain't gonna cap, but we just hung out with them. We just clicked with them. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know them folks' name that was right there. You had Jezreel, you had Gabe right there. You had Alexis and Justice right there. You had Heaven and Trinity right there. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like me talking, bro, I can see the whole block, like, as I'm explaining it. You know what I mean? I can see the whole block as you had a little drug dealer up there. Everybody knew bro was drug dealing right there. He had a boy AJ right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I got Khalil right there. I can see the whole block. Every day it was something busting in Kansas City. Every day. And boy, we already knew on 4th of July. Oh my God. I feel like you only gonna experience that type of neighborhood once in a lifetime. Where you knew everybody on the block. Bro, we were so close with each other, bro. We going to each other's houses, bro. Like, everybody knew each other on the block, bro. Everybody knew each other, bro. Some people never get them type of neighborhoods, bro. Outside every day, riding bikes, bro. It was just, man, jumping on trampolines with Scooter and them. Man, it was just, man, bro. It was just fun, bro. And I'm just like, dang, kids really just never going to experience that, bro. Going outside, like, you know, doing some activities. These kids on their phone all day. These kids on their phone, I'm seeing, man, you see little kids walking around with iPhone 16s, bro, 15s. What? You know what I'm saying? Tell you, bro, I don't see no little kids outside playing, bro.
The thing I always felt that was unique about our school was that there didn't really seem to be any bullying for the most part. Like, at least not the typical cliche movie style bullying where kids are getting pushed into lockers or having their lunch money stolen.
I know, I don't worry about no bullying. I don't even worry about that when I was a kid. I've been beaten down since the nigga knew about beat down. I've been beaten down. I don't worry about no bullying at all.
When I think back now, I can't really name a single kid from my graduating class who could be labeled as a bully. Sure, there were kids who just tease others, but nothing too serious. Of course, there were quiet kids in our grade, like every school has, but there was one kid in my grade who literally never spoke at all. I'm gonna just name him Luke for this story. Luke. He wasn't even a weird-looking kid or anything. He seemed pretty nice to people who went out of their way to interact with him. I shared one class with him, though. It was an elective that had kids from all 4 grades in it. Luke and I were juniors when this happened.
I see no problem with Luke.
This elective was a computer class, and back when this happened, the computer rooms in our high school were still rocking those big, bulky box computers. I remember the layout of this classroom. There was the aisle in the middle separating 2 columns of tables, and the 2...
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. When I was in computer class with Mr. Hudson, we had this game named Run. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes, bro, like, I used to do bad in school on purpose. It's not even that, bro. But I used to wonder, like, y'all ever heard of cool math? You know what I mean? I used to love cool math, bro. Sometimes I used to want to do cool math. You know, cool math for the kids that didn't understand or kids that weren't doing so well. Man, I think I was on cool math like a mug, boy. I was on Run 2. I was on all that junk. I ain't gonna cap. Mr. Hudson got us doing an assignment. Nigga, I'm over there. He walking around too. I'm over there. Got a tab open, then I go back to the, I ain't gonna lie. But it was just them days, bro. Back then it was just different, bro. I ain't gonna cap. It was just a feeling you had, bro. You know what I mean? It was just a feeling. It was like life was life, bro. Life still life, bro, but it was just different, bro. Everybody was just, it was just different, bro. You know what I mean? You can feel the shift now when it comes to life. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, this junk definitely ain't the same how it used to be. People ain't used to be so sensitive back then. You know what I mean? People actually had some type of, you know what I mean? Some type of, I don't know, like people were just different back then, bro. Like life was just different back then. Now people just weird now. Now people strange now, bro. Life's strange now, bro. After 2020, bro. You know what I mean? After 2020, bro, I'm telling you, bro, people got strange, bro. 2020 did something to some folks. I'm telling y'all, bro. I'm telling y'all.
Columns had 4 rows each.
Each
row had 4 seats, and each student had their own computer. This class wasn't full, so there were probably like 26 filled seats out of 32. Luke always sat in the second row in the further seat to the left with no one next to him, as everyone else sat with people they knew from their respective grades.
Let Luke chill.
Fortunately, not long into the semester, the seniors in the class started collectively picking on Luke. By this, I mean some of the seniors would make jokes about how quiet Luke was that it was scary when the teacher would ask certain things.
Bro, I'm like, dang, why does somebody quietness up? Why does somebody being quiet bothers people so much? I feel like I'm like Luke. Instead of the bullying part, I'm gonna slap mouths. But all in that, I'm quiet just like Luke. Why do people think people being quiet weird, bro? Like, man, I don't want to talk to nobody, bro. Let the man be quiet. Man, the man gotta talk to y'all, bro.
For whatever reason, our teacher never stood up for Luke and told them to cut it out. The teacher was a bit of a pushover from what I remember. Maybe that was why. As the semester went on, it got a little worse. I remember at one point seeing a small piece of paper fly from the back row from the seniors right to the back of Luke's head. I remember he turned around and had this very telling look. The seniors continued to make fun, one of them saying, "Wasn't me," and blaming one of the other seniors. The look on Luke's face just looked like a mix of sadness, anger, and just defeatedness. I genuinely felt bad, but I didn't get involved. Eventually, one day I saw Luke sitting on a curb not far from the high school after school ended one day.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Don't bully nobody around me, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I bully bullies, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I bully bullies, bro. I don't bully nobody around me. That junk ain't cool, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That junk ain't fun. I ain't never bullied nobody, bro. I ain't never been the type to talk about people, bro. And I never been the type to bully nobody. Wish one of my friends was bully, nigga. Bully me, nigga. Bully somebody that you know do something. Bully me, nigga. You know what I mean? Bully me like you bully Luke, nigga. You know what I mean? Straight like that. But yeah, bro, I don't get that. I don't get that though, gang. You know what I'm saying? Being quiet, bro. Like, I'm telling you, bro, being quiet, bro. Like, even when I was at my other job, bro, I'm a quiet dude, bro. I ain't gonna care. You know, at my other job, you're like, dang, why you don't talk? Like, why does my quietness disturb you, bro? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, it's just, nigga, I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you, so it's just for me, bro. If I don't know you, I'm not gonna talk to you. That's just literally how I am. Like how I'm talking to y'all right now, bro, I promise you, y'all, I am so different in real life. If I see y'all in real life, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like, you have to talk to me. Like, you come talk to me. I'm one of them niggas, bro, like, I'm cool as heck, bro, if you come talk to me, bro. But I'm not gonna talk to you if I don't know you. That's just how I am with everybody. If I don't know you, if you are a stranger, you are not gonna get a conversation out of me unless you talk to me. You talk to me, then, well, yeah, what's up, what's going on, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm not talking to you, bro.
By him as I was walking to my car. I have an early birthday, so
don't expect me to talk to you randomly
through junior year. Given we were in a quiet area, no one was exactly walking distance from school. So I did the right thing and said what's up and asked if he needed a ride home.
Hey y'all, you talking about a picture? I'm regular, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I really probably wouldn't take a pic. I'm regular, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on some coolish with y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be so cool with y'all, bro. You ain't even like, dang, bro, this nigga like a regular nigga. Talk to you like it been new. I'm one of them niggas, bro. I talk to you, bro. You feel like you been new, bro. I don't like all that famous and all that. I'm not famous, bro. I'm just a regular dude. I'm 50 viewers. You know, even if I get 1,000 viewers, I'm regular, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a regular dude. I doodle like you. I pee like you, bro. And I'm regular, bro. I'm just like you, bro. I got more followers and more followers. You know, that's it.
His face literally lit up a bit as he said yes. We walked to my car, and from there on, he guided me to his house. It was about a 10-minute drive to his house. We talked a lot during that car ride. I told him he should just ignore the seniors in our computer class. I said they're a bunch of deadbeats anyway. He said they're not the only ones that he's sick of. He implied that he deals with people picking on him in multiple classes, which honestly made me feel pretty terrible for him.
Gotta stand up, Luke, bro.
In those 10 minutes, I felt like I learned a lot about Luke and got to know him as a person just a bit, and he seemed like a decent kid.
Yeah.
As I dropped him off, I made a comment to him about how close we lived, and then we said goodbye. Every day in class after that, we'd say hey to each other.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? He got to know Luke. Now his perspective of Luke is totally different. Like, dang, Luke cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I be trying to tell y'all folks, y'all one of the folks that be judging people, bro. I ain't try to talk to folks, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Luke cool, bro. The whole time you thinking like, dang, Luke weird. The whole time you get to know Luke, bro. Luke actually cool, bro. But Luke, bro, you gotta start standing up for yourself, Luke.
Like a decent kid. As I dropped him off, I made a comment to him about how close we lived, and then we said goodbye. Every day in class after that, we'd say hey to each other. But admittedly, I unfortunately never got involved whenever he got picked on. Well, one day, Luke didn't show up to class. Computer class was 4th period.
Oh.
It wasn't until 7th period English that an announcement came over the loudspeaker saying, "Lockdown, this is not a drill."
Luke finna shoot the school up.
I remember everyone looking around nervously, and I remember our teacher looking the most nervous. She ran to turn off the lights and told everyone to hurry to one corner of the room. Seeing how nervous our teacher was only made all the students even more nervous.
Luke finna shoot the school
I sat
up.
with the lights off for a long time. It had to be 20 to 30 minutes until there was another message on the loudspeaker. It was the principal, explaining that there was someone in a mask carrying a black duffel bag trying to get into the school. Our school had really good security, and when someone spotted that person approaching the school with what could only be assumed to be guns or any kind of weapons in that duffel bag, the doors were all locked. The school day was cut short after that once a few police cars were on the scene. I remember it being a Friday, so I took a few of my friends home to my house so we could hang out. I'd be lying if I said I remember the small details thereafter of that day, but I think it was that same night that I woke up in the middle of the night to light tapping at my window.
All right, now, Luke. Luke, chill now, Luke. Chill. Would have said, Luke, I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I ain't did nothing now, Luke. Remember who was with you now. All right, remember who was with you now, tapping on my window at the late night. All right, Luke probably is one of them weird niggas.
That I woke up in the middle of the night to light tapping at my window. And I could see someone on the other side of the glass. I started freaking out, and before running to get my dad, I took a closer look and then said, "Who is it?" I heard Luke's voice as he said his name. I felt like my heart dropped a second time. I went over to the window and lifted it just a crack. I said, "What are you doing? How did you find me?" And he said through the window, "I tried to do something bad." And it instantly clicked. I mean it. It instantly clicked in my head that it was him. Before he could even tell me, I said, "Was it you who caused the lockdown?" And he said yes. I was scared to ask him what he was planning on doing. Instead, I asked him how he found me. He admitted to remembering the deli that I said I lived by, and he eventually found my car after biking around the area. That explanation didn't make it any less disturbing. Luke asked me if he could come in and talk about what he planned on doing, and I said no, I cannot let him in, nor can I hear what he planned on doing. I actually recommended he go to the school and confess to whatever he was going to do, and when he refused to walk away from my window, I said "Dad" really loudly, which worked in scaring him off. I went to my parents' room and woke them up to tell them. My mom was the one who insisted on calling the police. She was distraught. When a police officer eventually came, I had no choice.
Yeah, Luke, bro, you can't show up to a nigga window like that, Luke. Anytime my nigga finna shoot the school up, we don't agree with that, Luke. Like I said, Luke, man, you know what I'm saying? Just man up, bro, and put your pants on and get the beating. You know what I mean? Shooting the school up, that ain't never the solution. But you showing up to my freaking window in the middle of the night, that is uncalled for. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, Luke, you know what I mean? Keeping real with you. You don't do that. You don't do that, nigga. I don't even know you like that. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real. Showing up to my window like that, nigga. We don't do that around here. No, we don't do that. No. Now I see what that nigga don't. Now I see why you get bullied now, nigga. We don't do that. Show it to somebody, you know what I'm saying? You could have told that nigga at school tomorrow. Nobody knew it was you, nigga. You could have told that nigga at school, nigga, why you had to show it to my house in the middle of the night, nigga. You could have told me that tomorrow, nigga. You had to show it in the middle of my, nigga. And then it's like, why you even tell them where you live? I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. Nobody know where I live. Other than the two people I really kick it with. You know what I mean? Or three. Nobody know where I live, y'all. I never tell nobody where the freak I live. Ever. I never bring nobody to my house. Nigga, nobody know where I live. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. Other than the 2 or 3 people. You know what I mean? Honestly. So if somebody come around here asking about Jay, I know them niggas that I hang around, them 2, 3 people, nigga. I know they told my location. But I ain't gonna lie, y'all live in a deep. I live deep. You ain't finna find me, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, you not finding me.
Choice but to tell
like
the truth.
Right now, I'm in the middle. I'm deep.
I gave Luke's identity and I explained that he had just come to my window, admitting to potentially almost doing something horrible at the school. Obviously, the police were already aware of the lockdown, so I believe police were sent to his house that night, but after speaking with Luke's parents, they realized Luke wasn't there. I believe it was the next day that Luke was either found or he just returned home and police were still waiting there, and he confessed to what he told me. As far as our graduating class knew, Luke was charged with something like making a terroristic threat. I know he did time, and I know he's been out a long time. To be honest, I don't really know if he's still around. Part of me always wanted to feel bad for Luke, witnessing how loneliness and getting picked on can probably eat away at someone. He followed me and came to me simply because I showed him an act of kindness, something I unfortunately believe nobody else showed him. Still, the fact that he admitted to bringing a gun to school with a mask on, even if he didn't admit to intending on carrying out the implied threat, I can't fully believe he simply came to the school with a gun just to scare people. I think he for a split second had a horrible plan and got cold feet and regretted it.
Bro, y'all better stop messing with people, bro.
Eventually got the help he needed.
Stop messing with people, Dan, you know. Leave people alone, bro. bullying that man. That man come and shoot the school up. Leave that man alone, bro.
This happened in 2016, back when I was in 5th grade. If you remember that year, you probably remember all the killer clown sightings that were happening around the country. At the time, it was
I remember that killer clown joke. I ain't gonna lie. Like, bro, niggas was scared to go outside. I remember that killer clown joke. That joke was like when I was like, what, in 9th grade? You know what I mean? I think niggas said they seen Killer Clown up there at Langston. You know what I mean? I think niggas said they said, bro, I ain't gonna lie, that jump was huge back then. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Niggas was scared to go outside, bro. Some Killer Clown.
Over the news and social media. Most adults thought it was just some dumb trend or prank, but for young kids, it was actually pretty scary.
No cap!
It was a normal day at school. I went to an elementary school in a quiet suburban area where I still live. Nothing weird ever really happens here. It was around 1 p.m. I'm guessing, because it was closer to the end of the school day. We were in class working on some random assignment, and the classroom was quiet except for a few people whispering. Then, one of the students in my class suddenly said out loud, "There's a clown outside." I still remember her high-pitched voice as she said it. Some of us stood up and looked toward the window, and yeah, there really was a clown outside.
Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's Pennywise right there. I ain't gonna lie. I know that right there just scared y'all niggas. I ain't gonna lie. I know right there made somebody jump in here. I ain't gonna count. You know what I mean? But nah, though, bro. Bro, y'all don't understand how big this jump was back then, bro. Like, everybody was scared of killer clowns, bro. Everybody was scared of killer clowns. Nigga was scared to go outside, nigga, with killer clowns on the loose, bro. But you had niggas that actually was dressing up as clowns, killing niggas, bro. Like, this wasn't like no made up theory. Like, bro, you had niggas dressing up as clowns, killing niggas. Like, it was on the news and everything. Killer clown, that joint was real, bro. Know what I'm saying? You feel me? So nigga was like on some heck nah type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Heck nah.
I remember her high-pitched voice as she said it.
Them niggas wasn't just no fake ish. Them niggas actually killing niggas, bro.
Some of us stood up and looked toward the window. And yeah, there really was a clown outside.
Pennywise.
Standing just a few feet away from the window, facing our classroom directly. He was wearing a baggy, dirty red and yellow clown suit and had white face paint with black around the eyes. He was smiling and staring in at us with this big fake grin. After a few seconds, he started waving slowly. Some of the kids thought it was funny and laughed. Others were clearly freaked out. Our teacher, Mrs. Riker, walked over to the window, looked at the guy for a second, and then said through the glass, loud and annoyed, "Excuse me, classes are in session. You need to get out of here." The clown didn't react at all. He just kept standing there, smiling and waving. Mrs. Riker told us all to sit back down and said she was calling the front office. She picked up the corded classroom phone and then walked into the hallway with it and spoke quietly. The phones in the classrooms were always next to the door, so that's how she was able to walk outside the room with it. She came back in moments later and then hung up. She walked over to the window and shut all the blinds after she saw that the man in the clown costume was still there, doing the same creepy waving motion, smiling, and general clownish mannerisms. Not even 2 minutes later, the principal's voice came over the loudspeaker. "Staff, please get your classrooms into lockdown formation." There was a sense of urgency in the voice that, looking back, was probably to alert the teachers that it wasn't a drill without causing all the kids to go into a panic. That's when it got serious. Mrs. Riker rushed to turn off the lights and told us all to get under our desks. She pulled the door shut and locked it. Everyone was quiet. Some kids were giggling, but others looked scared. I was definitely scared. We stayed like that for what felt like forever, but it was actually about 30 minutes. Nobody knew what was happening, but eventually, the principal came back on the loudspeaker and said the lockdown was over and that the situation had been handled. Apparently, school security had confirmed that the clown was gone. They didn't tell us anything else. Classes went on like normal for the rest of the day. It felt weird. Everyone was talking about it during dismissal, but the teachers didn't say much. Then, after school, I was walking home with my friend Chris. He lived in the same neighborhood, just a few blocks away. While we were walking, a couple of 5th grade girls behind us suddenly ran past us, looking panicked. One of them said, "There's someone in the woods." We stopped and turned around. Behind the school, there's a small patch of trees. It's not deep woods or anything, just enough to separate the school from the street behind it. and standing just barely out of view, near the edge of the woods, was the clown again. Same dirty outfit, same painted face. He was half hidden by the trees, but he was clearly waving, and he wasn't just waving at random. He was doing it slowly, directly at the girls who had just passed us, like he was trying to call them over. Chris and I didn't say anything, we just ran. I don't know what happened after that, but I told my parents as soon as I got home. They called the school, and later I heard from another kid that the police were called again and patrolled the area, but they never found anyone. To this day, nobody knows who that guy was, and I don't know if he was just trying to scare some kids or if he were planning something worse. But what freaks me out the most is that he came back after the lockdown, and he waited, hidden in the trees, watching kids go home.
Crazy. Now, I ain't never seen no killer clown before. I ain't never seen one before. I know I was hearing about it though. Hearing about it for sure though, you know what I'm saying? But heck yeah, I don't play with no killer clowns though, gang. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. It was definitely a trend. It definitely was, you know what I'm saying? Definitely was a huge thing, bro. I think it was either my 9th grade, 10th grade year. You know what I mean? I think niggas running around talk about, you know what I mean? Bro, killer clown outside, killer clown. I think a killer clown came up to Langston, bro. I ain't see it. Everybody was running around. Remember, like, oh yeah, everybody running around like, talking, bro, killer clown outside, bro. Killer clown outside. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never seen one, but I think one came up there to Langston though.
So this happened not long ago.
But yeah, that jump was definitely real though. I ain't gonna lie, it definitely was real.
On the outskirts of Philadelphia, where it's me, my son, and my stepdaughter. I say stepdaughter as I've taken my best friend's daughter in legally. Around 2016, my best friend Joanne was murdered by her husband.
Oh man, dang. Some real ish to do right there. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You know what I mean, I kind of look, I'm like, dang, bro, what, you just took your best friend just because? But dang, bro, murdered, bro, dang.
My son and my stepdaughter. I say stepdaughter as I've taken my best friend's daughter in legally. Around 2016, my best friend Joanne was murdered by her husband. He ended up making national headlines and was convicted of 5 more murder cases.
Dang.
He's facing 3 consecutive life sentences with no parole.
The freak was your best friend married to? Jeffrey Dahmer, nigga? Like, said 5 murder case, 5?
I'm a middle school teacher.
Was it her? It was
school.
A
year below what I teach. My stepdaughter is the grade above what I teach, so their classrooms are not far off from mine. This incident took place on March 30th, 2020, when the lockdowns were slowly taking place. Where I taught, the school was rather distant from anywhere. The next school was about 10 miles, the gas station was about 2 miles, and the nearest park was about 600 meters from where we were. So we were one of the last schools to go into lockdown. Around midday of March, it was a normal heated Monday. I was teaching math at that time for the 6th graders. All of a sudden, I get a notification on my phone that someone was here to pick up my stepdaughter. The system that works is the main emergency number gets a notification if someone is picking up your child.
What?
The thing is, my stepdaughter was 3 classes down from me. She had no appointments, no close family that lived in a good radius from us. I replied that I'm here at school and no one in a 10-mile radius is picking her up. This was sending alarm bells off left and right. They said that the person picking her up was her biological dad. The school doesn't have that type of information on file. A few minutes go by on the phone and it's dead silent. The lady tells me she's gonna call the principal and see what he wants to do from there. A gut feeling didn't sit right with me. I called my stepdaughter's classroom and asked for her to be sent to my room. Just as I hung up, I was back to teaching when my stepdaughter came into the classroom. Not even 10 minutes later, the lockdown siren went off. I had kids push desks to the door and barricade the windows, and everyone sat in the corner. I had a pretty good feeling on who this lockdown was about. We were in a lockdown for about 46 minutes at this point.
46 minutes?
My main concern was how did he end up getting out? About 2 hours later, the lockdown was lifted and I was escorted out by the police. I was further questioned on how I knew this man due to the CPS records. I said I took my best friend's daughter in and explained the whole story.
So that was a...
The police informed me that how he had gotten out was a prison bus transporting inmates to another cell. A car came swerving in and crashed into the prison bus, leaving 10 prisoners dead on the scene, 2 prison guards knocked out, and 20 escaped.
Hey!
There were police already at our house waiting for the dad to show up, but he never did. When they heard the lockdown at the school, they knew it was one of the prisoners. If they had never gotten there on time, I honestly have no idea what would have happened.
I ain't gonna lie, I never had a lockdown. I ain't gonna lie, we used to do lockdown drills, but we used to do this one thing, bro, a tornado drill. You know what I'm saying? Like with my hands like this and my butt in the air. Why did we used to do that, yo? You know what I mean? Can somebody tell me why we used to go inside the hallway, put our hands over our head and butt in the air? Why everybody had butts in the air? You know what I mean? I felt very uncomfortable doing that. You know what I mean? Can somebody tell me why we had our butts in the air? Like I was gonna save us or something. I used to hate that drill. Everybody be quiet. Used to be walking down the hallway. Be quiet. I want to hear silence. Silence. Nigga couldn't talk. Nigga got butts in there. Hey man, that joke ain't make no sense, bro. Know what I mean? Niggas can't talk. Niggas got butts in there and everything. Like this gonna save us from getting torn by a tornado. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But what other drills I used to hate? I used to hate, I ain't gonna lie, I used to love that fire drill, though. You know what I mean? Used to go out, I used to love, hey, man, we getting out of class, I used to hear that fire drill. I used to love that drill. I ain't gonna lie to you, going outside. Shoot, especially me back in Langston. But one thing about me, you better not let me lead class. Nigga, you let me lead class, nigga, you ain't finna see Jay for the whole period. I do not know how I graduated high school. The grace of God. By the grace of God. You know what I mean, y'all? But when I mean y'all, I did not care about high school at all. And I still graduated. 2020 really saved me, chat. 2020 saved me. You know what I mean? You know, I cheat using Brainly, Quizlet. I ain't gonna lie, that junk saved me because I honestly feel like, bro, if I would have stayed at school, bro, you know what I'm saying? For 2020, because it was just so much liberty. You know, I come from Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, school small and stuff. But when it come to Langston, man, Langston freaking huge. So, nigga, all I seen was freedom. Man, you let Jay lead that class, man. Fire alarm. I ain't coming back the next. I'm gonna be back the next following day, because you know you had A-Day, B-Day. You know what I mean? Especially if I was at, say, third period, A-Day. Especially if I was at a class I did like, all right, man, I'm finna skip the class. I'll come back next A-Day. I ain't had to see her until Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? I used to go crazy. I ain't gonna lie, boy, for real. Hey, can I get a bathroom pass? I barely got bathroom passes because they already know if Jay got bathroom pass, we ain't finna see Jay again. I was like, let me get a bathroom pass. The whole time I get a bathroom pass, I'm walking around the old school. I'm going in C lunch. I'm all the way in D lunch. You know what I'm saying? I'm in other classes as well. I'm in PE. I'm going everywhere but the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom too, but best believe I'm going on some more journeys as well. Bro, you talking about a bomb threat? I'm telling you, bro, somebody lied on me, bro. I still don't know the kid that lied on me and said I threatened to bomb the school, bro. We was at Girard, bro, Girard Middle School, bro. We had a kid lie on me, bro. I didn't know what the freak was going on, bro. You know that Mr. McHale, bro. Mr. McHale, my nigga. You know what I mean? That freaking principal, I used to get in trouble so much, bro, that bro believed literally what the kid said. I know a kid lied on me, bro. A kid lied on me about a bomb threat. You know what I mean? I didn't know what the freak was going on. Nigga called me to the office. I'm like, what, nigga? Nigga talking about a bomb threat, bro. I didn't know what the freak was going on, bro. A little kid, I don't even know that kid to this day. A little kid made up something, bro, went to the principal and said I was going to bomb the school. I said, show the little kid. My mama was like, show the little, he would not show. I do not know who the freak lied on me about doing a bomb threat at Girard. Because he already know if he would have told me that kid, Jay would have beat the brakes off that kid like he stole something.
This happened during my freshman year of high school.
I don't know who the freak it was, bro.
I'm 21 now, and I still think about it.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all, bro. I got a story for everything, bro. My life was crazy when I got a story for everything. I seen that nigga bomb threat, nigga kid lied on me about it. I got a story. I know y'all like, but that nigga got a story for everything. I'm telling you, I got a story for everything, y'all. That's how crazy my childhood was, bro. I'm telling you, I swear, don't be capping. Nigga, I had a crazy childhood, boy. I got a story for everything. Everything you want to, I bet you I got a story for. I bet you I got a story for it.
I went to a public school in a pretty average suburban town.
But my life is a movie,
lockdown
bro.
drills maybe once every couple months.
Life a movie,
so when
for
this
real.
one started,
No
that's
cap.
exactly what I thought it was. Just a drill. It was a Wednesday.
I swear.
I remember because it was Earth Science and we had just finished a pop quiz.
I was just some ish,
I was
boy.
putting my stuff into my backpack when the loudspeaker came on and said, "This is a lockdown. Lock all doors, lights off, stay quiet." At first, nobody panicked. Our teacher, Mrs. Chen, sighed, got up, and locked the door like usual. She turned off the lights and told us all to get into the corner of the room, away from the door. Everyone was laughing a little and whispering like it was no big deal.
Always laughing like something a joke, bro. Everything ain't a joke, bro. There ain't no drill. Niggas a lockdown. But I guess everybody was laughing because dang, we ain't gotta do no work. You know what I'm saying? Guess they were probably happy about that.
But then we heard a second announcement. Same voice, but it sounded different. More rushed. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." That's when the room went silent. My teacher didn't say a word. She just motioned for everyone to stay down and keep quiet. I could tell even she was nervous now. She kept checking her phone, and we could hear faint, distant police sirens outside. A few minutes passed, then we heard something from the hallway. Footsteps. Slow ones, and not in a hurry like a cop or a teacher, just one person walking. They stopped right in front of our classroom. We were all staring at the door. Nobody breathed. Then came a knock. Not loud, just a soft, slow knock 3 times. Nobody moved. Then the doorknob turned. They tried to open it, but it was locked, obviously, but they kept trying.
We got to figure out that classroom.
Aggressively, just turning the handle back and forth like they were checking. And then, a male's voice on the other side said, "This is just a drill. You can open the door now." We all collectively looked at Mrs. Chen, and then she looked back at all of us, put her finger up to her lips, and shook her head no. The person on the other side of the door kept knocking and trying the doorknob, and eventually the knocks got more aggressive as the voice of the man on the other side kept saying hello. Our classroom was on the first floor in the science wing. I can't tell you how much I was shaking in my shoes. I know even if all the other kids didn't want to admit it, they were as well. Eventually, the knock stopped, and the man must have walked away. We heard nothing after that for a solid 5 minutes. Total silence, apart from the police sirens outside getting louder. It felt like forever. Then, someone down the hall screamed. It was a girl. Just one scream and then nothing. A couple of people in my class started crying quietly. Honestly, it was the girls. Someone whispered that they saw a shadow move past the little glass window on the classroom door on several occasions. Each time anyone spoke, even quietly, Mrs. Chen gave a stern but quiet shh. Another 5 or 10 minutes passed. Then, finally, we heard the sound of police officers shouting from down the hallway, telling everyone to stay in place. They were going room to room, and when they finally knocked on our door and unlocked it with a key, Mrs. Chen didn't even move until they showed their badges. We were all escorted out in a line, past other classes doing the same thing. There were cop cars everywhere outside, even a SWAT van. I didn't see anything too crazy, but I did see one officer leading a guy in cuffs out of the building. He looked about 30.
30?
Not a student, pale, long hair, wearing dark clothes. Later that day, we found out that some criminal had slipped into the school through one of the side doors during a delivery. That side door was right by the end of the science wing. Apparently, he was mentally unstable and had something in his backpack, but I don't know if it was a weapon or not. They didn't tell us much. They just said nobody was hurt and everything was under control. But I swear, I'll never forget that knock at the door. The way he turned the handle, the scream down the hall. It didn't feel like everything was under control at all.
School shootings, man. Like, these school shootings be crazy, man. Nowadays, bro, I mean, back then, man, you know, you used to send your kids to school, bro, not having a care in the world, bro, what's gonna happen to them now? Nigga, now? Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, nigga. I mean, kids, you hear about school shootings every day. FSU just got shot up.
I started school, and I already had a lockdown to tell. I'm only 15 years old and just started as a sophomore at Northside High School in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
I ain't gonna lie, it's public schools though. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be so rich, bro. I would say, y'all, I told you, I'm not having a kid, bro, so I'm well stable. I don't know about y'all. Y'all can have kids. Y'all can go nut in all these girls. But for me, I know I ain't going to have a kid till I'm stable, bro. I'm like stable enough. For me, my kid going to private school. You know what I mean? I ain't going to cap. They going to private school. Private school don't play that. Private school is where the uptighty kids go. Like, that's where that security, like, public school, that's private school, bro. Kids going to private school. I don't know about y'all kid. You don't be hearing that junk with private school. Y'all hear about school shooting in private schools? Y'all hear about that junk? School shootings in public schools. Private school, they don't play that. They protect them way more because you gotta pay to go to private school. Like private school ain't no regular. You gotta pay to go to private school, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no regular. You don't hear about private schools getting shot up. Them folks got that junk secure. They don't play that issue. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real with you. Nah, though, I ain't gonna cap because, you know, like I said, bro, ain't gonna be no crazy kids, bro. You know, lunch better too. You know what I mean? It's like the uptighty junk. You feel me? You know, private, they got cops and, you know, some public schools, bro, ain't got no cops on the premises, bro. Some public schools ain't got no cops. You feel me? So the public schools like the, you know what I'm saying? The private school like the rich kids. Public school like the middle class kids. You know what I'm saying? Middle class poor kids. You know what I'm saying? But nah, though, bro. My kid's going to private, bro.
That morning, I came to school early.
I wish I would have went to private, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a choice, like, after I got suspended for the whole year, my mom was finna put me in private school. I was finna go to Landmark Christian School. I wish I would have went, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like I would have been better at sports. But so many of my partners, bro, was just at Langston, bro. I was just in that little immature mindset. Oh, I want to be around my friend. I want to be with my partner. You know what I'm saying? Well, really, I should have just went to Landmark, bro. She was offering to take me to a private school. I was getting in so much trouble at Langston, bro. She was like, go to a private school. I ain't listen. You know what I'm saying? Stayed at Langston.
Around 6:55 a.m.
Still graduated, though.
I was one of the first people in the first period class, which was chorus. Our classroom is at the very end of the fine arts hallway.
I ain't gonna lie. Our lunch used to be fire, though. Them little nachos, boy, that pizza, I ain't gonna cap, y'all, bro. Hey, man, that nachos and that pizza used to be fire. I'm gonna keep it G. You know what I mean? No bad. Especially when you caught me on a good day. You know what I mean? Honestly. Caught me on a good day for real. You know, for me, I ain't gonna lie. I'm talking about, but the pizzas and the nachos used to be hitting so much. Man, we going around the lunchroom. You want your pizza? Shout it. And you knew to ask them pretty girls, too, because, you know, the pretty girls used to piss me off. Pretty girls used to act like they don't want to eat. Man, let me go and ask you for you. You want your pizza? Shout it. Since you too pretty to eat, let me go get your pizza. Give it right to I go straight to them pretty girls. You already know they finna act like they don't want to eat. Whole time you hungry and trying to look pretty. And shout it, give me that piece.
Right next to the auditorium.
Shout it, give me the nacho.
I was sitting at my seat with my phone out, listening to music and just waiting for the bell to ring and start the day. After a few minutes, I heard my teacher say something, so I paused my music and took out my headphones. When I looked up, I saw my classmates heading into the closet at the back of the choir room. I was confused. We had just practiced a lockdown drill the day before, so I wasn't sure if this was another drill or something else. Still, I listened to what the teacher was saying and followed everyone else into the closet. The teacher shut the door behind us and turned off the lights. We were now sitting in complete darkness, with only a small amount of light coming in from under the door. At this point, I still didn't know what was happening, but then I heard police sirens outside. That's when I started to realize this wasn't a drill, it was real. I started to feel nervous, but I kept calm. I figured if I stayed as composed as I could, maybe I wouldn't panic as much.
Nigga, that's not no auditorium, nigga. The freak wrong with this nigga? That's not no auditorium.
I sat in that closet quietly,
that's not no auditorium,
trying to listen for any sounds coming from outside.
Can't be.
But I didn't hear anything else. We stayed in that closet with the lights off until the lockdown ended, around 8:45 a.m. That's nearly 2 hours.
What?
Once we were let out, I felt calm again because everyone around me had stayed calm too.
The music class.
I went back to my seat in the front of the room and put my music back on, just trying to get back to normal. Later on, I decided to ask my teacher what had happened. I said, "Were there any fights today?" The teacher looked at me seriously and said, "It's much worse." That's when I started to realize something serious had really gone down. I looked out the window and saw cars lined up in the back of the school. At first, I thought it was just regular pickup traffic, but it felt different. In the classroom, some students were trying to get information. Eventually, my friend Jacob told me that someone had been stabbed in the middle of the school, in the rotunda. I didn't know much more than that at the time, but shortly after, my mom texted me asking if I was okay. I told her I was safe and still in my choir class. Some girls in the class had started crying after the lockdown, and that made everything feel even more real. My mom called me next. She told me she had parked her car at the baseball field, along with a bunch of other worried parents trying to find their kids. Eventually, my name was called and I was allowed to leave the school. When I got to the field, I found my mom. She was clearly shaken up, and honestly, so was I. She drove me to the daycare where she worked, and once we got there, both of us went into a quiet room where we cried together. Her co-workers came in to try and comfort us, and I had to go outside to calm down even more. I put my headphones back in and listened to 3 Days Grace just to get my head right again. Later on, we found out exactly what happened. 2 students had been taken to the hospital. One of them died. A teacher had also been slashed by the attacker.
Dang.
In total, 3 people had been hurt that day. I started searching for more information and found the press conference about the incident already posted online. After watching it, my mom took me to Arby's to get something to eat. I hadn't eaten all day. We got our food, then we went to pick up my younger brother from his middle school. He told us he had noticed a lot of cops at the school, but didn't know what had happened. When we got home, I kept searching online for updates. That's when I saw that a 16-year-old had already been charged with voluntary manslaughter, assault with a deadly weapon, and a list of other serious charges. 2 more students, one 15 and one 16, were also charged with assault and disorderly conduct. What made it even more disturbing was that someone had recorded the stabbing and posted the video on Snapchat. I didn't watch the video myself, but my mom told me about it. She said in the video, the person recording was running, so the phone was pointed at the ground, but you could clearly hear the screams of kids as the stabbing happened. My mom thinks the whole thing might have been gang-related, and after I heard that, I was scared. Scared that someone might come back to retaliate. Another attack, more violence. It's hard to believe that someone actually died. I didn't even know the kid, but I've been thinking about him ever since. I hope he rests in peace.
Yeah, man. That's it, man. That's it, man. Y'all know your boy Jay got to go to boxing. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, boy Jay got to go to boxing. But I appreciate everybody, man, for joining the stream. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. You know what I mean? For joining the stream. You know your boy Jay got to box. But I don't understand, but I'm getting these little weird messages, bro. You know what I'm saying? Getting these little weird messages. You know what I mean? All that, bro. Don't be getting these random messages, chat. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, bro. Getting random messages you don't really, you know what I mean, know, bro. Scam, man. Scam. I appreciate everybody for joining the chat, man. It's your boy Jay, man. Check it, these fans like